Hello, everyone, and welcome back, myth lovers, to Mythloke, the show where we unravel the secrets of the world's most fascinating mythological characters, one legend at a time. This is your host, Nitin Nair, and today we're going to dive into the captivating lore of the Caladrius, a mystical bird from Roman mythology known for its extraordinary healing powers. Picture this. A pure white bird perched in the courts of kings, its eyes brimming with divine knowledge, capable of determining the fate of the gravely ill. This bird doesn't just symbolize health and life, it embodies them, acting as an intermediary between humans and the divine forces that control their destiny. The Caladrius is more than just a healer, it's a symbol of the delicate balance between life and death. And its stories have been passed down through generations, carrying with them profound messages about faith, fate, and the human condition. Today we are going to explore this mystical bird in detail. We'll talk about its physical traits, the powers that made it so revered, its role in Roman and medieval culture, and how it stands alongside other legendary birds from mythologies around the world. We will also look at the influence of the Caladrius in modern times and how its symbolism still resonates with us today. So sit back, relax, and let's embark on this journey into the heart of one of Roman mythology's most fascinating creatures. The story of the Caladrius begins in ancient Rome, where it was believed to reside in the courts of kings and emperors. This wasn't just any bird, it was a divine creature believed to possess a direct link to the gods. It is said that the Caladrius had the power to absorb illness from a sick person, but there was a catch. Whether the bird chose to heal or not depended on its behavior. Legend tells us that if the Caladrius looked into the eyes of the ailing person, they would be healed. The bird would take the illness onto itself, fly up into the sky, and burn the disease away in the rays of the sun. This image of the Caladrius flying towards the heavens, carrying sickness with it, is striking. It's not just a healer, but also a messenger between the mortal world and the divine, a bridge between human suffering and celestial salvation. On the other hand, if the bird turned its head away from the patient, it was a sign that the illness was fatal and there was no hope for recovery. The decision of the Caladrius wasn't arbitrary. It was believed to be acting on behalf of the gods, reflecting divine judgment. This gives the Caladrius an air of inevitability. In ancient times, illness was often seen as more than just a physical condition. It was intertwined with spirituality, destiny, and the will of higher powers. The Caladrius once again wasn't just a healer, it was a judge, weighing the worthiness of life or death. Visually, the Caladrius was described as a snow-white bird, a color that holds profound significance in ancient symbolism. White, as we know, has been associated with purity, innocence, and the divine. The bird's feathers were said to be immaculate, untouched by any blemish, further reinforcing its connection to the gods and its role as a creature of healing. The choice of the Caladrius as a white bird isn't just incidental. In ancient Rome, and indeed in many ancient cultures, the color white was often reserved for the gods or creatures associated with them. It was considered the color of holiness, and its presence in the courts of kings wasn't just a decorative choice. It was a powerful reminder of the bird's divine origins. There is also an interesting contrast here. The Caladrius, with its delicate white feathers, represented purity, healing, and the power of life. Compare that with any other mythical bird like the dark and fearsome roc of Persian mythology or the fiery, ever-rebirthing phoenix, and we will start to see how each bird embodies different aspects of life and death. While the Caladrius is predominantly associated with Roman mythology, its legend wasn't confined to Rome. Variations of the Caladrius appear in other cultures and were especially prominent in medieval Christian lore. In the Middle Ages, the Caladrius made its way into bestiaries, those medieval manuscripts filled with allegorical descriptions of animals, real and mythical. Here the Caladrius took on a slightly different role, often symbolizing Christ. In these Christian interpretations, the Caladrius' ability to take on sickness and purify it by flying into the sun became a metaphor for Christ absorbing the sins of humanity. Just as the bird healed the sick, Christ was seen as healing the soul, taking on the burdens of mankind and offering them salvation. The bird became a symbol of divine sacrifice, purity, and redemption, concepts that resonated deeply in medieval Christian thought. Interestingly, in some Jewish traditions, there is a similar bird called the Ziz, a colossal bird of the skies believed to protect the world and keep the heavens in balance. While the Ziz is more of a protector than a healer, its divine status and connections to the skies mirror the Caladrius' role as a link between humans and heaven. Now let's delve deeper into the Caladrius' most remarkable feature, its powers. As we already touched on, the Caladrius had the ability to absorb illness and sickness, taking it from the patient and releasing it into the sky where the rays of the sun would destroy it. This isn't a simple act of healing. It's a purification ritual of sorts, where the bird acts as a divine filter, removing the physical ailment from the human body and ensuring that it is cleansed in the purest form of energy, the sun. The sun, of course, is another powerful symbol. In many ancient cultures, the sun was seen as the ultimate source of life, growth, and healing. By flying into the sun with the illness, the Caladrius wasn't just ridding the patient of disease. It was returning that illness to the source of life itself, allowing the sun to burn it away and restore balance. But what happens when the Caladrius turns away from the sick person? That's where the bird's role as a judge comes in. Its refusal to look at the patient was taken as a sign from the gods that death was near. This made the Caladrius a powerful figure both in life and death, one that could bring hope or seal a grim fate. In a way, the Caladrius was a messenger, an agent of divine will, but also a creature of immense responsibility. If you are enjoying what you've been listening to so far, please click that subscribe button and also the notification button so that every video we put out, you are notified and you can enjoy it along with the others. As you know, our members get an advanced look at the videos 24 hours before it becomes open to the other subscribers. So go ahead and join those channels and start having a say in what videos we do next. Do send us your comments because we respond to every single piece of comment, whether it's on the video or in our community section, because we love to be in touch with our regular viewers. Now, back to the video. While the Caladrius itself wasn't directly worshipped as a deity, its presence in the courts of kings suggests that it was treated with great reverence. The bird's care would have been surrounded by rituals of its own, ensuring that it remained pure, healthy, and connected to the divine. In a broader sense, the Caladrius became part of the cultural and spiritual landscape of the time, representing the hope of divine intervention in moments of sickness. Kings and noble families would have looked to the Caladrius not only for healing, but for guidance. Its actions were believed to reflect the will of the gods. We've already mentioned the phoenix, the legendary bird of resurrection. Both the phoenix and the Caladrius are birds of healing and transformation. But where the phoenix represents rebirth through destruction, Caladrius represents healing through purity. While the phoenix burns and is reborn, the Caladrius remains untarnished, absorbing and purifying rather than being consumed by the illness. Another comparison could be made with the Chinese Feng Huang, often referred to as the Chinese phoenix, which symbolizes peace, prosperity, and harmony. Like the Caladrius, the Fenhuang is a bird associated with rulers and the heavens, but its powers are more symbolic of balance rather than direct healing. In Norse mythology, we have the Verifalnir, a hawk that perches atop the Yggdrasil, the world tree. Though not a healer, Verifalnir's placement in Norse mythology reflects a kind of overseeing presence, watching the world below, not unlike the Caladrius connection to the heavens. The Caladrius, while not as prominent in pop culture as the Phoenix, still makes occasional appearances in literature, video games, and art. Its healing powers and divine connection have made it a popular choice in stories that involve magic, healing, and divine intervention. The bird's symbolism of hope, purity, and the delicate balance between life and death continues to resonate, particularly in genres that explore morality, destiny, and the human condition. In medical ethics, the Caladrius role has sometimes been invoked as a metaphor for the healer's burden, the idea that doctors and caregivers, just like the bird, absorb the pain and suffering of others as part of their role in the healing process. It is a powerful symbol of sacrifice and service, one that transcends the confines of modern literature. So, let me ask you this. If you could have a creature like the Caladrius by your side, knowing it could heal or perhaps even predict your fate, would you want that kind of power in your life? And what does the idea of a creature that can both save and condemn tell us about how we view health and sickness even today? These questions remind us that myths aren't just stories from the past. They reflect our deepest fears, hopes, and beliefs about the world. And with that, we come to an end of this episode. I hope you enjoyed our deep dive into the world of Caladrius and the fascinating stories surrounding this healing bird. If you like this episode, don't forget to hit like, subscribe to Mythlope, and turn on the notifications so you can stay up to date with all things mythical. This is your host, Nitin Nair, reminding you to stay curious and stay mythical.